I just want to make a quick video of how to install a can light or recessed light, just like that. I'm going to be using the ones from Home Depot, the Commercial Electric. It's a 6-inch can light. So they're pretty good lights. I have them all throughout my house. We're going to put one here above the shower. So first thing you're going to do is find out where you want to put it. And what I like to do is I get a fish stick. I have a sharpened edge, and you want to make sure that you're not going to hit a joist or any electrical or anything like that. And then you're going to poke this up so you can see it when you get in the attic. It's going to come up through the insulation. It's going to help you locate where you need to clear the insulation out. So we'll go ahead and get that done. Okay, I've got my hole marked, so I'm going to go ahead and poke a hole right here. And really, you can use anything. I'll hold the camera right here. You just need to know before you mark it where it's going to be in the attic, because you don't want to hit anything, any ducting, any wires. So before I even mark this, I'll get this up in the attic, and I'll go and clear my insulation. Okay, so reason you don't just blindly start cutting too, I thought I knew where the stud was, but I didn't stud locate it. I hit a stud. Not a big deal. I can just fill that in with some joint compound. So I'm gonna go ahead and find out where there's not a stud, poke my hole, and then we'll go from there. All right, got my little fish stick stabbed through the ceiling. That hole is just gonna be the outside edge of where I cut. It's actually not on a stud. The stud is just to the left of it. The drywall here is a little bit harder than the rest of the drywall in my house. So we're gonna pick back up in the attic. All right, before you go in your attic, at a minimum, you wanna have at least a dust mask, preferably like a respirator, some eye protection, and a headlamp so you can work with both of your hands. And if you have pink insulation or fiberglass insulation, you're definitely gonna wear long sleeves, which I don't have on. My insulation is not so bad, but long sleeves and gloves, or else you're gonna be itching for days. All right, we're in the attic, and there you can see our little fish stick. Yeah, so if you didn't use that, you would have to dig and struggle to find out where you marked that hole. So this just makes it a lot easier. What I use to clear out the insulation is one of these big aluminum dustpans that you can get from Lowe's or Home Depot. They were great. I just scoop it out and I clear everything down to the drywall so that when I cut my hole, you're not gonna get showered with insulation. I got everything cleared out. Looks like it's in a good spot. Just off of that stud that I was close to earlier. No wires, so you definitely don't want to just start stalling into something like this. You'll, get shocked, or you could hit some plumbing. It's always a good idea to, before you start cutting, know what's around it in the attic and clear that insulation out. Another little trick is to bring up just a little piece of OSB to spread across your ceiling joist. And that's going to prevent you from dropping through the ceiling if you fall off of the joist, and it's just going to make it a lot easier to work with. How do I know? I've stepped through the ceiling in our living room. So yeah, it makes a nice little working platform and make life a lot easier, especially when you have to come up here and finish off the electrical. Got my hole marked, and you can see I got that first little mess up there. So that'll be covered up with the light. So for this next step, you're just gonna need a drywall knife and a shop vac or a vacuum. I like to hold the vacuum up while I cut. It just keeps the dust down, doesn't shower you with dust, and makes it a lot cleaner. And then when you get that piece out, you can actually just grab it with the shop vac and then set it down. So let's get cutting. So for this style, this is what's called a canless light. The other normal style, I guess, that people used to use. These are becoming popular, but it would just be a can. So you put the can in there, and then this would be a separate piece that you buy separately, and then that would screw in. These are great. I like them better, honestly. They're easier to put in, and they're just straightforward. So all you do is just hold these tabs up and then pop it in. It's that simple. All right, got it popped in. I did see some reviews on Home Depot saying they weren't sitting flush. That's the third one I've set so far, and they all are sitting very flush, and they snapped right up in there. I'm guessing maybe the springs on some of them had a defect, but yeah, that's in there, and it's got some nice tension holding it in there. So we'll go up in the attic and we'll get them wired in. So the way this is gonna work is this is coming out, this light. So we're just gonna tap into this switch right here. So I do it hot, I don't flip any breakers. So probably should flip the breakers. That's what, that'd be the safest way, but I know what I'm doing. And there's a way to check to make sure it has no power. Just use a non-contact voltmeter, or yeah, a little voltmeter. So turn the power off, and then we'll go make sure the power's dead at the wire. All right, before we head up into the attic, I just want to make sure you got all your tools ready. So what you're gonna need is a pair of dikes to cut the Romex. Your strippers could probably cut it too. You're gonna need that non-contact voltmeter, some needle nose pliers to get these knockouts. So just knock out 2 of them with the needle nose. You need a razor knife to cut the Romex. Some wire nuts. You're gonna need some larger ones than what comes with the lights. You're gonna have 3 pieces of Romex to twist together and then put inside your handy box. 2 screws to screw your handy box onto your joist, and then you're gonna need a cover for that, and either a screwdriver or a screw gun, because you're gonna have to screw in these screws, and then you have these screws too for the cap. And I'll go give a quick demonstration of how Romex, or at least how I do it. It's pretty easy. Let's set the phone down here. As you can see, you just cut it, get your razor knife, and then slice down the middle. You're gonna follow, that's where the ground is, so you don't cut the insulation on those wires. So you'll peel it back, expose that, trim off excess. So obviously you got, ground is gonna be the one that doesn't have any insulation. Black is gonna be your hot, and white's gonna be your neutral. You're gonna strip these back about maybe like 1/2 inch. And when it's hot in your attic, you're gonna wanna do this quickly up there. You don't wanna hang out in a 120-degree attic for too long. So you get that, and then you're just gonna wire nut this together. So now it'll come into your box, that'll come in, and you should have some chafing protection on these. They sell bushings, but Lowe's is out of them, so we'll put those in later. So, slight problem. This is why it's good to have one of these. This wire, I thought, was going to my light that's already in, but it's not. So if I would have cut into this with a pair of dikes, that would have not been good. So that's why it's very important to always test whatever wire you're gonna cut before you cut it. Okay, so it turns out that the vanity light fixture ran through the wall. Not a big deal. I just ended up locating where that would be on this ceiling joist here, or the wall, and I just drilled through that, and then I ran my Romex through there, and I should be able to grab that through the hole where that light fixture was. So we'll go down and I'll see if I can grab that wire. And yes, I am using outdoor rated Romex just because it's cheaper, but only difference is it has a thicker coating, and it's a lot harder to strip, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. I don't know why, but yeah, same stuff pretty much. 14.2 Romex. This is just outdoor. All right, so we'll head down to the bathroom and see if we can grab that. So I got lucky with that one. I fed the Romex down and it actually popped out of my hole. So got real lucky there. I'll just connect this to these. This is what went to the fixture, and that's what's going to the switch. So I'll just connect those, and then we'll fix the sheetrock there, obviously, and then we should be good to go. So I'll get that tied in, then we'll do the tie-in in the attic. All right, got the handy box installed and got our lights installed. I added a couple more lights. These are daisy chained together, so you can see you just run it into the little junction box there and then connect them and then run to your next light, and so on and so on. And also I would recommend using these cable staples just to keep when you're running them, you can just put your wire in there to the right length, put your staple in, and then you can tug on that and it's not going to pull out of your box. It's good to have a strain relief on there too. I don't really like the junction boxes on these. They're kind of small compared to a normal cam light. What I do like about these is that you can get them in a really tight space. So I have one light back here that was right up on a joist. Let's see if I can show you. And that is, you'd never be able to do that with a normal cam light. So it went pretty smooth. Overall, these are easier to put in than a normal two-part can light, but they're a little bit flimsy. They're not quite as sturdy. And you're also, if you have to change these, obviously you have to come up here and either disconnect this, or if you have enough slack, you can probably pull it down and disconnect it, but still you're gonna have to do some wiring versus just screwing a new bulb on a normal cam light. But so far so good. I'm pretty happy with them. If you guys have any questions, let me know and I'll do my best to answer.